Hi, this is Lynette from Panacea Ranch, and I pulled into a parking garage because it's kind of warm outside in the sun, so there's going to be noise around me, but I know you can hear me, so that's all that matters right now. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Panacea Ranch. This is Lynette, and I just got out of the gym, and I left my little things of shampoo that I take to the gym at the hotel on my vacation. So I got to go home and take a shower, but I just wanted to stop and say, while I was at the gym, I was listening to a video on YouTube about epigenetics and placebos and nocebos. I don't know if you ever heard of nocebos, but most people have heard about placebos, right? Where a doctor gives you a sugar pill, you don't know it's a sugar pill, and he says, this will cure what you have. And you take it, and you go and see him periodically, and pretty soon whatever you have is gone. Oh, miracle! How does that work? Because your brain believes that this pill is going to cure you, and so if your brain believes that you're going to be cured, you will. Okay, sometimes it doesn't because people are stubborn and they focus more on the pain and whatever else, the symptoms, or the non-belief, nothing can help me, I'm doomed, and stuff like that. But those thoughts, nothing's going to help me, I'm doomed, this isn't going to work, I don't feel good. I'm not saying don't recognize how you're feeling. I'm not trying to tear anyone down there. But when you believe that you can't be cured, or that this isn't going to work, or that doesn't work for you, or whatever, and maybe it doesn't, there's so much involved. But that's a nocebo. A nocebo is when the doctor tells you you have 6 months to live, and you say, oh my God, and you die within 6 months. Instead of, and they give you like a percentage or whatever. That's what they're taught, and that's what they find out from, research and stuff. But look at the research of what's possible, because I'm going to post a video down in the description of the video that I watched, and I think it's just a 20, 30 minute clip of the longer video. I'm not sure because I didn't look at their description. I think I saw something in the description about where to go to see the whole thing or to see more about it and everything. But it's Bruce Lipton with a colleague, and Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he, I think he says he has a master's degree in, and I can't say the word, I just said it, epidemiology, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, he was there when they were learning about, he was doing the first research about stem cell research. We can get stem cells from our own DNA to help us heal. And he was there in the beginning, and I don't know for how long, studying stem cells, and also about our DNA and our genes. Okay, very important information in this video. I really encourage you to check it out, because you know how I can't remember names and things and numbers and stuff, and I got to stop saying that because I want to believe I can remember. And I'm going to learn this to the point where I can just blah, 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 and it all comes out just perfectly, and I can just cite it anyway. But I am going to cite it, and I'm going to give you his information, and you can look up the stuff he's talking about, because a lot of science just isn't being published for the status quo, and you it's a shame that you have to go find it and that it's not just being put out there. But you can heal yourself, and it's okay if you don't want to, and it's okay if you don't want to believe it, wherever you're at in life, that's where you're supposed to be, because everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that. And, I have experienced healing in my own body from belief and from energy work and things like that. And I'm not saying that none of Western medicine is any good, because it is, but when you marry the two, my gosh, you just boost both of them, you boost your possibility, you boost your odds on being able to heal yourself. So I encourage you to check that out about the placebos and nocebos, because like Wayne Dyer talks about this, people that are like, they start to get a sniffle on Monday and they're, oh dear, I'm coming down with a cold. And so they've convinced their brain they're coming down with something. And, today the sniffles is going to start, and tomorrow the sneezing and coughing, and then the sore throat, and then the next day it's going to be in the chest and maybe the stomach, and by Friday it's going to be so full blown I'm going to have to call out sick. And you just convinced your body that it's getting sick, and it believes you, and so it says sick. The universe says sick. Okay, here's sick, here's sick, here's sick. Because, what you think about is what you bring about. What you feel about accelerates it, especially the depth of the feeling, whether it's good or bad feelings. Because if you feel, oh, I got a sniffle coming up, I better take some vitamin C and some vitamin D, because, that'll help me get better. And when you're telling your brain that, and you take the vitamin C and the vitamin D, which, is part of the Western medicine, but also part of the Eastern medicine, because your body needs that. So, you can get better, and that's what I do. I'm like, starting to feel a little rough in my throat because somebody was coughing at work, and I think I got some of their germs, or maybe I'm just thinking that I got some of their germs. And, maybe they weren't even sick, because sometimes I cough because of asthma and people are like, ah! I'm like, I'm not sick. It's just my asthma, which isn't that bad as it used to be. Anyway, another story. But, yeah. So, with colds and stuff, since I went off on the vitamin C and vitamin D, I don't know if I've already told you this, but in college, when I was getting my teaching certificate to teach littles, I had a teacher that was also a naturopathic doctor. And a naturopathic doctor has to take all the same classes as an MD, except for they have to take a plethora of nutrition classes about what nutrition helps what, and, what areas of illness and what parts of the body and blah, 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 blah. And then, because MDs, they only have to take one class, I think. You can look it up. They don't have to take much nutrition, because that's not what it's about, And so I lean more towards the naturopathic doctors, because they want to look at what's wrong with you and what caused it, not block the symptoms. The symptoms are there to tell you something's wrong, fix me. And it doesn't mean put a Band-Aid on it. It doesn't mean dry up the dripping nose, or, stop this or that from happening, because look at those pills. They have all kinds of side effects, on them, and look at the side effects and see is it worth it, So anyway, this naturopathic doctor told me that the FDA, and it could change because when I was little it was different. I don't remember what it was, but I remember being in school and what they said the FDA recommendations were. But so in like 2011, 2012, something like that, my teacher said that the FDA recommends that you get 60 milligrams a day of vitamin C in order to stay healthy and, not to get colds and flus and stuff, or have the germs affect you. Well, she said it's not 60 milligrams of vitamin C that you need every day. It's 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. And she said the best way to have your body absorb it and for it to work well is through food. And she gave us a list of foods in our book of like the number one was like the food that had the most vitamin C. And I believe that was some kind of red pepper. I don't think it was red bell pepper, but it could be. But cayenne pepper has a lot of vitamin C in it. And guess what has the least amount of vitamin C on that list was oranges. You have to eat 65 oranges a day to get enough vitamin C. So what we started doing in my family was we started out, hardcore 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and we were taking them plus getting them in our foods because, there's all kinds of foods that have vitamin C. And then I figured out, well, we could really just take 1,000, 2 500 milligrams or one packet, which has sugar and other things in it. So I don't know if you want that. But when I was teaching at Head Start, I was drinking 2 to 3 Emergency Plus because it also had D in it. And I was practically the only teacher that never called in sick. So, and they all got flu shots and stuff, which, if you want to get flu shots and your doctor recommends it, that's great. But I also read somewhere that by your 10th flu shot, your 10th year, whatever, your immune system is null and void. And so you don't want to ruin your immune system. But like I said, don't take my advice about it. Check with your doctor, do what you think is best about stuff like that. But she also said that, you can take as much vitamin C as you want during the day because your body will just pee out what it doesn't use, And so if you do take a lot of vitamins and stuff, your urine is going to be vibrant yellow, unless you drink enough water. Or the more water you drink, the less color your pee has in it. And the clear pee is a healthy pee. And so they say. And anyway, and so you could take, 1,000 milligrams or 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day and see how less you get sick, and people have different issues, if I have a friend at work and she says that stuff doesn't work for her. And so I trust that she's tried it and it just doesn't work for her. Her body is different. Everybody's different. That's why the same medication for everyone that has the same thing is going to work for these people and not for those people, So you got to find what works for you, between nutritionists and doctors, figure it out. I want you to live your best life. I want you to feel good. Because if you feel good, then you can do things. You can do things that make you happy. You can do things that make you stronger. You can live a full life. I don't want you to sit in a recliner in pain all day. I mean, if that's where you got to start there, but build your way up to get better. So you can have fun. I want you to have fun. I want everyone to be happy. And I know that's impossible for everyone on this planet to be happy, especially all at once. But it doesn't mean we can't try. And, if you try, then at least most, I don't know. I'm blabbering at this point. But then also the vitamin D, look up how much vitamin D is safe to take. I want to say 10,000 IUs, but it could be 5,000 IUs. I don't remember. Like I said, I can't remember the numbers and all that, but the vitamin D I found, when I took vitamin C without the vitamin D, I still kind of felt congested sometimes when there was colds going around and everything. So when I took the vitamin D, which comes from the sun, I didn't really get that, I didn't get anything. Everybody being sick was around COVID all the time. I never got COVID until Dave got it, and I got it from him because we were kissing. But just being around people, I didn't get it, and that's because I boosted my immune system, but I also boost my immune system with other supplements like neem, which I also take for my teeth. I also use neem toothpaste for my teeth. And then, and that's an Ayurvedic thing. I love Ayurvedic medicine and everything. That does really good too. But I also take mushrooms, different kinds of mushrooms. I take lion's mane for my brain. It really does help clear your brain out a little bit, clear out the cobwebs so you can think clearly and remember things better. I tried ginkgo biloba back in the day, ginkgo biloba, however you say it, back in the day when it was first came out, that it was really huge to help your memory and all that, and I really never saw a difference. I mean, maybe some people did. Like I said, different people, different things work for different people. And then I also take cordyceps, which I'm not, I think cordyceps is good for like lung health. Don't quote me on these things, look them up. But I know that's good for something. And then there's, I know that turkey tail and reishi mushroom are good to, for your immune system. And that, I think, is what was helping me stave off the COVID. Look up things about that. Look up things about mushrooms. And also, because I take them in pill form, I don't know how good they taste. I don't know if you can even buy them to eat, to cook and eat. But I know mushrooms are really good for you. 2 videos to watch about mushrooms. One of them is on Netflix. It might also be on YouTube, is the Fantastic Fungi. That's a wonderful video. Even if you don't watch it for the healing aspects, just to see those mushrooms grow in the timing of the camera being sped up is just beautiful and wonderful to watch. There are some pretty freaky looking mushrooms, man, and they're beautiful. And then another mushroom one is, there's a TED talk about how mushrooms are going to save the world. And it talks about how they've used a certain mushroom type, psilocybin or something. I don't think it was psilocybin, but unless that means the same thing. Gotta look that up. So they used it to clean up oil spills in the ocean and even, out in nature and stuff, because mushrooms are also used as a filter. And it filters the toxins on the planet. And so, they're in Oregon. There's the largest living organism under the ground in Oregon, and look it up. It's so interesting. And I can't remember how many miles it is, but it's this fungi living underneath the surface in Oregon, and it's like miles and miles and miles large. It's the largest living organism. It's so fascinating. I just love this stuff. So anyway, yeah, go check that stuff out. And I'll put some links down in the description if I can find links to all the things that I'm talking about. So you don't have to go looking for them yourself. But I did. When people tell me stuff like this, I'm like, really? I'm going to go look that up. And when you look it up, check the sources. You don't want to go to joeblow.com and say, oh, well, he says this, so I'm going to believe it, No, look at something that's credible, okay? Or that you feel credible. And one other thing, and I'm going to mention this probably in another video too, because it's so important to me. One time I was talking to my niece about reading the Bible and stuff, and I was like, it's just so confusing, and I really don't get it. And I didn't want to read like another interpretation, or what do they call that when they translation? Because things get lost in translation, even though things got lost in the editing. But anyway, so she told me, she said, Aunt Lynette, what I do before I read any religious books, she says, I pray for guidance. I pray to be able to understand it, and I pray that I'll find what I'm looking for, or I'll find meaning in it, or whatever, and I'm paraphrasing. This was like, back in like the 80s, I think. I was talking to her about it. And so that helped me a lot. I'm always asking source or ancestors or angels, whatever, for help to find more knowledge about what I'm interested in. And that is the thing that I have manifested the most, is information. And I get so excited when it comes from a credible source and everything. And a lot of times when I'm reading stuff or I'm watching videos and everything, and people say profound things, and a lot of people say like epiphanies and stuff like that, and I mentioned this to other people that I talk to about this stuff, and they say the same thing. I'm saying, you know what? When you get that feeling and everything, when you hear something so profound, it's not that you were awakened to it. It's not that it was new to you. All of a sudden, it's like you remember it. Like, oh my gosh. And I don't mean, sometimes it's, I remember that from when I was a kid, or I remember that from 20 years ago. But sometimes I feel like I remember it from a different lifetime or a different universe, because I believe in past lives, future lives, and multiple universes. So very interesting. I hope you find it interesting. Anyway, I gotta go home, get something to eat, shower, maybe not in that order, and go shopping with my sister, because we just got back yesterday and we need to get some food and stuff. And man, I'm just living my best life. I love life. It gets better and better every day. And it will for you too, if it hasn't already, if you focus on the things that make you happy, the things that make you smile, the things that you like. Be what you are for. Be all about what you are pro, and forget what you're against. You can look at it and you can say, yeah, I don't like that, so I don't want to give it any energy. So just bye-bye, and be like, yes, this is what I want. Reel it in, and live your best life. Find things to make you happy. Find things to make you feel good. Okay? I love you guys. Please take care and know that I love you. Like, subscribe, follow, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. Okay? And if you're interested, I post a lot of things, and I'll be posting a lot more things like this, like the videos and stuff down below on my Panacea Ranch Facebook page. Things that YouTube says, oh, you can't do that. That's a copyright thing, Yeah, whatever. All right. Love you. Bye.